friends. Oh my goodness, all my toggles, wonderful, love that. I look like
Demon
I don't even
buddy,
know,
demon buddy cat ears, you
demon
know?
buddy.
Oh.
Obviously. Oh, okay. Yep, those two. Thank you so much. YouTube Studio. Okay, now my horns. Wonderful. I love all my toggles being here. Wonderful. We'll just keep the bear ears on. I'm a bear anyways. Hi.
Hello, everyone.
Hi. Welcome in, welcome in. Hi.
Thank
In a
you, Coffee, for
stream
the
without a little bit of
redeem.
scuff. Slay. Totally not forgetting to do that.
Oh, I don't know what you mean.
What do you mean?
I have no idea what you're talking about. You've been here the whole time.
Exactly, exactly. I've been here the whole time.
Yes, yes, yes.
Oh my goodness. Oh, we're
Hi,
looking good.
Coffee. How are you? I
Let
hope
me
you're
go
having a good
ahead
night.
and ah. Oh, my cursor is not. Oh, okay. Overwatch. Hello. There we
It's your
go.
birthday today.
Okay.
Happy
Love having
birthday.
musical. Oh my God! Happy birthday. Hello.
I'm
Okay,
glad you're
there we
having a
go.
great birthday. Thank you for stopping by. Are you doing anything tonight? What are your plans? What are you doing for your birthday? I need to
Yes.
I need to know. What are your
This is such
thoughts
a country mercy skin. Hello.
on the One Punch collab? How do you feel about the skins and stuff?
Well, I was here for the first one, and I liked it, and I'm like, oh wow, they added more. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
okay, cool. I did not realize they were going to do that.
Oh wait, they have a. I'm sorry, I'm staring at the stuff now. You when you said Cunty Mercy skin? Were you talking about the Gothic cat one?
Yes, I
Bro,
was.
this
Oh,
is this is so kind.
the
Hello?
angel.
Yes?
Is it? That's so cute. I love it. I love it so much. And then I didn't even see the cat one actually. I see it
Cat one
now.
is my favorite actually. Holy fuck,
I
hello.
love that. I love that.
Oh, I got Emo Ilari? I'm not familiar with their name.
Yes.
I haven't played this game in forever. And I need to play more.
That's so valid, honestly. Oh my goodness. Hello, welcome in, friends. So we are here and we are going to be doing a little bit of a queer stream. Welcome in ghouls, gays, theys, and fays to the Queer Screams, where tonight we get to dive into the haunted crossroads where LGBTQIA plus history and horror history collide. From vampires as sapphic icons to slashers as queer-coded outsiders. We're unpacking it all today. And of course, it is Halloween month and LGBTQIA2S plus history month, so what better time? It is tradition here in the Cub Arcade that before we start, we do a little icebreaker with the game Two Truths, One Lie. Have you ever played before, Wive?
Yes, I have. I'm bad at this game, but I'll do my best.
So before we continue, would you like to introduce yourself with your name, pronouns, a little bit about yourself, like what you like to play, what type of content you create,
Absolutely.
all that good stuff?
Hi, my name is Wyvie. My pronouns are he, they. I am your very favorite cryptid bat VTuber. I promise I don't bite hard. My content is variety for the most part. I like to stream on and off League of Legends, Overwatch, Rivals. Sometimes I do comfy games like Stardew or Graveyard Keeper, very fitting. And most of the time I end up streaming with my VTuber friends creating so many shenanigans, so many shenanigans. My favorite games, however, are to play like Persona or Shin Megami Tensei in my free time. I have been streaming that recently, so if you're an SMT fan, hit me up.
Slay! That sounds absolutely amazing. I love that. So, to give yourself some of the time to think up different things, um, I can go ahead and go first for the Two Truths, One Lie if you would like.
Sure, yeah, that would be fine.
Slay! So, for anyone who doesn't know, Two Truths, One Lie is a little game where we will say three statements, two of which are the truth and one of which is a big stinky lie. So, for my first statement, before becoming a VTuber, I actually wanted to become a mortician slash funeral director.
Okay.
For my second statement, I was actually looked at and recruited for a D1 university.
Oh.
And for my third one, before I was a VTuber, I was actually a drag queen.
Okay. And I'm supposed to find out which one of those is true, right?
Which is the lie.
Which is the lie?
Mm.
Oh. Uh. Hmm. I would say I feel like the lie is the mortician.
Oh, okay.
And I only
Final
say that
guess?
just because like your whole like not to say that like morticians or anything can't be like cute or like kawaii like decora, but like your personality and then the reason why I'm here also versus like your aesthetic as a VTuber, I think that the mortician is probably the lie. Just a thought. just a thought.
All right. So you are wrong.
No. Okay. Was it the university?
No,
It was the
actually
drag
the
queen?
queen.
Bro, that's insane. Yeah, no, I definitely would have thought that like if it was not oh, the Genji just killed my ass. If it was not the mortician, it was the dry or the university one. Why did you want to be a mortician?
So I mean, I love all things very like cryptid and everything, but
Mm-hmm.
I also wanted to create my own business called Fantasy Funerals,
Okay.
where we focused on celebrations of life, specifically for those like kind of quirkier sides, those quirkier individuals, slash children. Ooh,
Oh, I
that's
see.
Alonzo.
I know, he got my
Yeah.
ass.
And so primarily we would just focus on those as a way to kind of help help people with quicker ways of life celebrate their final moments.
Yeah, that's honestly really admirable, and I'm like kind of surprised that I didn't even think of it like that because like there's such a market for I don't even want to say a market, that feels so like derogatory, but like a I don't know, like a clientele. Oh, damn. For like people getting what would you call it? Like more fantastical burials because like with their like the COVID stuff, there was a lot of things going around about how like there was no really child friendly stuff, and it was just like you either got like a Spider-Man funeral or and that was kind of just it. But that definitely fits your personality. I feel like that's crazy to know.
Yeah. And I mean, I love the art of drag. I love all sorts of drag queens. I go to my local drag spot often. I have
Mm-hmm.
a few local queens I love and adore. Um, I really adore like the art of drag and everything, and I feel like
Mm-hmm.
it's so funny because people are like, "Oh no, yeah, that one has to be true. Like that's the truth."
Right. Because it makes sense. Oh my god, this Hanzo is so good. It's kind of making me sad. Yeah, no, I'm thoroughly surprised that you weren't like, I mean, do you participate in drag outside of like being a part of a show, I guess?
I I do not. I
Okay.
love the art of drag and everything, but I've never really tried. I've done like drag makeup esque. My model
Mm.
is actually based off of some drag queens. One of them being Kimchi.
Mm.
One of my biggest inspirations. Love Kimchi, LA Diamond. Some of my bigger drag inspirations. But yeah, I love it.
Okay, well, that's fascinating to learn. I guess I am trying to think. I have like some stuff down okay in my head, right? So, um, okay, so I guess my first statement is I actually planned on going to school to learn how to become an embalmer. I know, very same
Ooh, okay.
situation, but yes. And then my second statement is that my first VTuber idea was actually a shark cat. Um,
Okay. Slay.
Kind of like there was like a Pusheen version of that at some point. And then I guess my third statement is that I applied and got accepted into Yale.
Ooh, okay. Okay. Oh, these are good ones. I'm gonna say. Ooh, you know what? Okay. I'm gonna say this because I kind of really want it to be true and I want to be wrong. I'm gonna say the Yale.
You are actually correct. That is the lie.
Oh no. I wanted it to be true.
It's okay. I applied to a lot of like I don't know, like top universities.
Mhm.
And I did get accepted at a couple. Like I got accepted into, I don't know if in most cases when I've said this, people say that LSU is considered a quote unquote top university, but I did get
Mhm.
accepted into UW and LSU. Um,
Ooh,
None of the
okay.
like Ivy League schools though. I did plan on going to school to become an embalmer first before I decided to do what I'm doing now.
Mhm.
Um, and I am actually in the process of trying to become a cosmetologist.
Oh,
So
slay.
it's kind of like partially true. I just ended up going down a much different path than what I expected.
Yeah. I love that. I love that for you.
And I picked up this, I think the last one, the story behind that was I picked up this like I don't know. I like there's not Five Belows in the Pacific Northwest, but there is one now apparently. But back home, because I'm originally from the South,
Mhm.
I had this like blind box or something that I had gotten into, and I ended up pulling like a shark Pusheen, and that was a massive inspiration for my first VTuber model. I was gonna go with some kind of like shark cat.
Mhm.
So yeah, I don't know. Oh, that McCree just fell off the
Oh
edge.
yeah, he's like nope. He's like I'm done. I'm not
Valid
going out
reset
there.
though. I no, no judgment there.
I love that though. That's amazing. Oh yeah, he just gave up.
Oh, that's okay. You can't win them all.
I fear he was getting a little deft.
Yeah, I'm also getting a little diffed, not gonna lie. But it's okay, because we've all... I cannot heal
No
this Sigma
diff.
a
Come on in
month.
there. I know he's been picking up so much damage. I'm like, brother, I literally am. I'm
Which
throwing as
is...
many little papers as I can.
Right, which is great, but I just like... I don't know, I probably... On this map specifically, I probably should have swapped Lucio, but whatever.
Lucio. Wee. No, yeah, definitely. But that was so interesting. I love doing our little a little get to know you before we dive in. But speaking of being an embalmer and also
Hmm.
being, you know, like a mortician, etc. Um, do you have a first horror memory that made you feel seen?
I it's kind of weird, right? Because my first horror memory like that I can recall just generally is being afraid of playing Devil May Cry with my uncle. Um
Oh.
which crazy, but the first horror memory that made me feel seen kind of like as an individual now as an adult was actually Princess Mononoke. So a lot of my
Oh,
community knows
okay.
this. I am trans female to male, and when I was very young my parents were very strict, like Christian, like you have to be wear dresses, you have to, you know, frilly whatever. And
Mm.
so when I watched Princess Mononoke with my older sibling, I was like very, very, very young. And what ended up happening is I was very scared of it. And later on, when I was like a preteen and I watched it again, it was really inspiring in the terms of like the way that Studio Ghibli has such different faces of femininity. Like Mononoke herself is very masculine and very tomboyish, and that really
Mm.
brought me out of like that. I don't want to say like desperation, but like need to not conform to traditional femininity. Like it was like, oh, I can be tomboyish. Obviously that changed later down the line, but you know, it was very much like, oh, okay, so like I don't have to wear frills and like dresses and whatever to like be a girl or whatever.
Mhm. Definitely, definitely. I love that. And I also, Mononoke is one of my favorite Ghibli movies. I really want my partner to watch it because they really love the kind of like spooky, scary, a little darker
Yes.
elements,
Yeah.
especially when it comes to like different forms of media.
Mhm.
And so I think it's really wonderful, especially with Ghibli being who they are, having different kind of like having different ideals of, oh, I got schlepped in the background, different ideals of just like gender and everything.
Yes, yeah. It's a very unique aspect to take. Like Ghibli does it very well. That like other sector, I guess, of what could or could not be. And it's really interesting to see how that ends up being the case. Oh, I'm so dead here. Hello.
Come back, I got you.
Thank you. And it's just like a lot of older animation films like kind of have a very unique position on, oh, that McCree got my ass, on the different faces of femininity and masculinity and how you don't have to be traditional. And Ghibli in all movies does a very great job of that, I feel.
Oh yeah, 100%. I feel like, especially in modern day, with like different gender barriers being broken down, I'd love to see a Ghibli movie featuring, especially like trans youth. I think that would be
Anything,
wonderful.
actually, like something, you know? It would be so cool. Oh my god.
Oh, oh my gosh, not the res. Hello, crazy.
Oh,
Okay, that didn't take.
it's okay, I got it. Oh, I'm dead.
Slay.
Hello, goodbye.
Oh no.
uh,
Going forward, do you have a favorite horror icon?
y- yes, but like I had kind of a stipulative question. Like when you say
Yeah,
icon, do you mean single character or like creator or kind of a mix of both?
a little bit of both. So
So,
honestly, whatever you would like to go through, because I feel like an icon can be anything, right? Like, I feel like an icon can be, you know, like a final girl. It can be a horror, like a villain, a
mhm.
slayer, a creator.
I'd have to say then my favorite like icon as in like creator is Jen Urobichi, I think it's pronounced. I feel so bad. He's the creator of Madoka Magica and Sayano Uda, which are like two of my favorite pieces of media, like horror wise at all. I am very, very much a fan of his work, because of the way that he writes the struggle with identities, specifically in terms of Madoka Magica. In my personal opinion, it is a very long written story about how, as a teenager, you don't really know your identity yet, and facing off with like any kind of darkness, i.e., like the witches, can basically mean that like you kind of lose yourself. And I just find that writing very interesting and very powerful. And so it's resonated a lot with me throughout the years.
Definitely, definitely.
Oh, I'm so dead. Mercy.
Valid.
Behind you, Mercy.
I feel the same. Madoka Magica was one of my absolute favorite animes and just pieces of media in general, honestly.
Yes, yeah. It's just, it's so fast, and then also like it's so creepy. And the anime, like the first part of it doesn't really do his work justice, simply because it's like it was kind of a passion project, and it was like our first release. But the movies after for Madoka are like their peak, dude.
Oh yeah, I can't. Are you excited for the newest one coming out?
Yes, yes, I am. So much so. I hope that it is as good as it's said to. Like, it's been really hyped, and I hope that it actually comes out as a good film.
100%. I can definitely say it. I'm so excited for it too. I'm ready for it. I'm so ready. I want it to come out soon. Just like, oh no, now it's been pushed back again.
Yeah, and like on one hand, I'm like, okay, I don't want to have them rush their work, right? I'm like, you know,
Exactly.
it makes sense that like they're taking their time with it, and that's okay. But also, I'm like, damn, bro, like give me what I want, please.
Honestly, no, I feel that. I'm like, please. But I am glad they're taking their time. I mean, like the what do you call it? The different the Demon Slayer movie that came out was honestly really, really good. It was great. And it was so well done too. Like the animation looked so spectacular.
I haven't seen the movie, but I did read the entirety of the manga, so I know what it is like about. So I'm glad that it was something like, I'm glad that the reception to it was good.
Yes, same. I'm a big manga reader as well. But speaking of, you know, different places like Madoka Magica and different queer icons and everything, who would you categorize as the queerest horror icon?
Okay, so like this is a really like crack ship headcanon, okay? Patrick Bateman. Patrick Bateman from American Psycho. And the reason I say that is because he is so obsessed with masculinity, and he's so obsessed with like himself, so much so to the point where like he denounces having to be with women. And like I know that the whole point is supposed to be a talking point on like this is why like, or like, you know, men's like abuse towards women and why it's not okay and why it's not comfortable and everything like that. And I definitely understand that, but I'm like, in a utopia, right? Patrick Bateman would be queer. That's just my hot take.
I completely agree there. I totally understand that.
I just like, it's so, I'm like, you hate women, you refuse to sleep with women. When you do, you're like staring at you, flexing your muscles. Like, girl, just go get with a man. Like, what do you mean?
No, literally. I can see that though. I can see that. We've had a bunch of different ones. We've had Frankenfurter from Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Okay,
We've had
base.
the Babadook.
Oh my god, right, because that was like fucking released on Netflix as like a gay movie or whatever.
Yes.
That shit is so funny. Shout out to all the Babadook fucking flag creators, because there's so many.
Yes, we love the Baba flag. History. Oh my god, the Babadook is one of my faves. My partner has not watched it yet, actually, and I'm like, we have to watch the Babadook.
That's my like plans for the last week pretty much of Halloween here is to basically kind of finish out. Like I was like very, I don't want to say like out of sorts, but almost like oh, hello. I was not really able to watch a lot of horror growing up just because of like the environment that I was in, and so at becoming an adult, I have found like it really resonates with me, probably for a lot of the reasons that it resonates with a lot of queer people, but it has just like been a great way to kind of live some of those fears in a controlled environment. And I have so many classics to go through. So one day.
I believe it. I believe we can do it. Going forward, a little bit into the history section of what we're doing here today, do you know what the Hays Code was?
I've done like a very limited amount of research on it. I know that it is a like piece of rules, like written rules about like what movies were and were not allowed to have, and basically what those rules were all saying was like, oh yeah, my TV show has to be very Christian and pure, it can't have any homosexuality, and that's kind of the extent of my knowledge on that.
Yeah. So basically, the Hays Code was a set of rules created by the government to kind of like police a lot of our media. Just to go along the lines of being like, yeah. Oh, okay, Cassidy, I see you. I was getting ready to hook, and Cassidy was like, nah, I got this. But it was a set of rules created in around the 1930s, so that it was basically saying like, yeah, you can have this, but you can't have this.
Right.
It was a way for them to police a lot of the media that we have, so that we could essentially have a, you know, more, what is the word, toned down version of media. And it was a large censorship issue, especially in the US, but from once this, like, it was over. Okay, meteor strike. Oh, I saw that one coming. I'm just gonna,
I got you.
there we go. Oh,
There's
nice.
someone behind us.
Oh, Doomfist.
Oh.
But it basically got through a lot of it because it was essentially saying nothing with sexual perversion would be able to go through.
Yeah.
And so
Homosexuality.
So loose,
yeah.
It was so incredibly loose that it was essentially just like, oh, well. Ooh. Oh, thank you, Anna. Thank you, Granny. It was essentially just to be like, hey, look, you can do this, you can't do this, and we're gonna tell you how exactly you can and can't go about these things. And so that's why in the 1970s, once it was finished, like once it was lifted, there's so much going on in the world of horror, in the world of cinema in general. They were like, oh my god, we can put boobs on screen now, let's do it. And that's what the Hays Code was.
Not surprising, but also like yuck, you know what I mean?
Exactly. It's like, okay, they're trying to silence us in general.
Yeah.
But it's like, well, I mean, at least it was lifted. Oh my goodness. I hit that hook, I thought. Oh, we gotta go in. I don't wanna lose the point. So Pennywise. Ooh, do you think that queer, or do you think that horror has inherently helped or inherently harmed queerness and queer culture?
I feel like my answer to this is such a cop-out answer, to be completely honest, because like it's not like if I had to choose one, I would say helped, but in like reality, it's not so black and white, and the reason for that is because I mean there's so many things that go into what has made queer culture like I don't even know how to explain it. Like, it's just it's so like horror has helped it so much because it's created a place where like queer people can kind of band together and say that they have experienced the same thing, but I can also see places in which it's harmed it because of people being like, oh, like, you know, horror is supposed to be scary, like monsters are unsightly, like that kind of thing, and like people have used horror before in a way to demean queer people in many forms. And so I just think that that itself can just like, that's why it falls under both categories, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. I would definitely agree with you there as well, honestly, though, because I feel like it's definitely something that you're right about. It's something very gray, and I feel like the gray is a large area where people are misunderrepresented as well.
Yes,
Like,
yeah.
for a lot of queerness, it's not just that, oh, hey, this person is queer. You know, it's the different things going along with it, where it's like they're queer, but in this movie they're depicted as X, Y, and Z,
Right. And
or
like even with the
they're
actors too,
this.
like it can really put them in a position where it's like, "Oh, why are you like oh, like this is a reason to make this person look or like to demonize this person in any kind of way." And that just sucks.
Exactly, exactly. And I feel like it's definitely something that it's like, ooh, it's definitely something that is looked at a lot, especially within horror and in queerness. I feel like with that being said, it's kind of like two stones, right?
Yeah.
Or two different sides of the same stone. Is that it can help and it has helped in different ways and whatnot, but it has also harmed, especially with oh, nice sleep.
Oh,
Oop, there we
there
go.
is a Doomfist behind us.
Yes, I'm just gonna stick on point to try and get rid of the time. Nice. There we go. Oh man. Have you ever heard of the movie Dracula's Daughter?
I have not. Dracula is actually one of the last classics I haven't really seen.
Ooh.
So I know a little bit about it. I have like kind of an elder queer who I'm pretty close friends with, and they have talked a lot about this movie, and it's like almost like sapphic representation.
Oh, 100%. So Dracula's Daughter was the actual sequel to. It was the sequel to Universal's Dracula. And it. Oh man, I almost got them all off. Ooh, nice beat. And it is incredibly sapphic, especially in the ways where in the main protagonist, or well, antagonist, is so inherently queer. There's a scene where it's supposed to be scary that this, you know, female vampire is staring at this person, and it's like, oh my gosh, they're gonna try and kill them. But they literally take off their wedding ring before they they take off their wedding ring before they like go and see this person and stalk them, and they're like licking their lips essentially at this female figure. And it's like, oh, that is so queer. That is
Yeah, exactly.
so
Like such a
queer.
massive struggle with like the ability to like want a woman and it not be like quote unquote inherently bad or whatever. Like
Mhm.
uh
Exactly, exactly. Are you aware of what vampires are said to represent, especially within queerness and in horror?
I'm not actually. I can kind of infer like that it's probably something relatively negative or in the fact of like it's a physical representation of like want and or like greed or something you shouldn't be doing, but that's kind of my best guess.
So it's about they are often set to symbolize repressed sexuality, especially within
Oh.
queerness. And so we can really see a lot of this shining through when we look at some of the different genres of specifically, specifically different places when we're talking about vampires, and one of them being, um, a very popular vampire film that actually changed the way vampires are viewed in media,
Okay.
which was Twilight.
Oh.
And
Oh,
so
okay.
and so when we look at specifically, right, the Cullens, they are going against the grain within even their own society. So
Mm-hmm.
not just society, as in like human society, but as in vampiric society. And so they are going against the grain, becoming quote unquote vegetarians, only feasting on the flesh of blood from, what is it, animals, food bank, etc. And so they specifically go through and they can be seen as like ostracized from even their own society, as many
Mm-hmm.
vampires, especially within when we're meeting people like the Volturi,
Mm-hmm.
we can really see them as people who are different from them. And so a strong sense of otherness comes from not only them being vampiric in nature,
Mm-hmm.
but also from them being, repressed,
Mm-hmm.
and that they're not getting the full amount that they need. Edward really going ham in his little metaphor, being like, oh, it's like a human living only off of tofu.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so it's really strong symbolism there, but also with people like Jasper. When we see Jasper, they're portrayed as someone who has like little to no self-control because they're, going strictly into their urges. And
Mm-hmm.
it's like, although their urges may not be, some things that are not accepted into their society, they're accepted in other parts as well. And so it's like you can really see this being, oh, hit me, yeah, gimme. Oh, I'm dead. Goodbye, friends.
Yeah, and it's really fascinating to like know that like the vampiric nature of the Cullens and of Twilight itself had such like a big impact on queer culture, considering that
Hmm.
Twilight is literally 50 Shades of Grey fan fiction.
Exactly, exactly.
So
And
I'm
it's
like,
so funny.
like it's like
It's like
that,
not even talking about like Edward's like Mormonism, because Stephanie Meyer's Mormonism
right?
really influencing a lot of like their repression and whatnot.
Mhm. Which like that in itself as an allegory as well is completely insane. Like imagine
Oh
wanting
yeah.
to write something and just being like, yeah, so I'm a Mormon and so because I was a Mormon, it made me, write about vampires having repressed sexual nature. Like that in itself is so
Exactly.
insane.
Let's go.
Great
But
point,
yeah, and then we
Graham.
can also see it in like other vampiric movies like Dracula's Daughter. Again, when we're going through and we're thinking about it, the main premise of that, movie is that, ooh, the main premise of that movie is that, ooh, that was a quickie. Oh, damn. It's that the main character Maria does not want to be a vampire anymore. They don't want to be a part of Dracula's, you know, lineage, and so I feel like that's such a strong part in a lot of these different. Not you dancing.
Sorry.
It's a big part in a lot of the vampiric medias that we watch because we can definitely see them going through and really wanting to you know, be quote unquote cured of this illness that they have, which most of the time is something that they wind up being like, you know what, this is part of my strength. Like, it's not something I can control, but it's something that I can, you know, be loved with. It's something that makes me powerful.
And that as an allegory for like queerness itself, for just being ostracized as an individual for whatever reason, you know, is so powerful too. Like knowing, oh, I'm dead. Knowing that the real themes behind these things and behind the movies and behind the monsters are like a sense of not dread but lack of self is really sad, but also really powerful in the fact that it makes me feel like seen.
Exactly. It's something very strong. And are you aware of the queerness within the original Frankenstein by Mary Shelley?
I am not. I also have not seen that. I know that a creator of Frankenstein is gay, question mark, but I don't know 100%.
So, the original creator of Frankenstein, Mary Shelley, is heavily rumored to be bisexual.
Okay.
And she also famously had sex on their parents' grave.
Oh. Based as fuck? I don't know. Like, just a thought.
So, but the original creator of Frankenstein's silver screen adaptation was actually James Whale, who was openly queer.
Yes, that was who I was thinking of.
Yes, especially at a time that didn't, you know, accept a lot of queerness.
And that's so, like, and this is like a very, like, I don't know, like, philosophical kind of question. Not really question, but statement. And it's just more like, why is it, like, so difficult for people of this time to accept those around them that they don't, like what, I don't know, I guess in my head I'm wondering, like, I've always had this question of like, what is the original thing or the original script or words or whatever that made these people so afraid of being queer? And like, the only thing to me that I can ever relate that to is the innate, like, human response psychologically to be afraid of sticking out for like survival. But then even then, that's like, it's just so, it's so disheartening to see that people could be so cruel only because someone is a little bit different than they are.
Exactly. And it really goes on to, you know, show that these movies and these medias like Frankenstein, like Frankenstein's creation, you know, that they're all pretty different, especially when we come through and we talk about these. Oh no, I'm so sorry, I was trying.
No, it's okay. I tried to boop him off you, but I don't think that it worked.
You got him off me, but I was like, I wanted to get him off of you too.
Oh, well, you know, teamwork.
There we go. So within the original Frankenstein, there are so many different themes that we can see, especially and specifically within Frankenstein's monster, right? So some of the themes within Frankenstein and Frankenstein's monsters are, yes, we are. Ooh. Slay. Let's go. Some of them are seen as being, you know, like these monsters. It speaks so deeply to the queer community because Frankenstein's monster specifically, it's has that inherent feeling of being abandoned, right? Of being ostracized by society, unlovable, unattractive. Although some monsters,
dude, don't even get me started. I have friends all the time who they're like, why are you attracted to that? And I'm like, bro, don't ask fucking questions, but I'd hit, okay?
Don't ask questions, but I'd hit is crazy. I love that. That's so real. That's so real. Also, hi J Storm. Yes, we are. Oop, I did not paying attention. Oh. Crazy.
Oh, I didn't even. Oh, I see. I didn't even. I was just like.
I was like, oh.
Okay.
Yes, the wedding happened. I posted it on my Twitter, socials / Discord. If you do want to go in and look at those pictures. Sorry, I got recently married, so some of my community and friends are like, "Oh my gosh, wait, you did?"
No, congratulations. That's a big moment. You should be celebrating that always. Hello.
It was so unbelievably fun. I loved every second of it.
I saw a little bit of what you posted, and it was very majestic, and I think you are so awesome. I am dead. Oh my god.
Oh no, sorry.
No, it's okay.
I shielded myself because I didn't see you, and I was like, oh shit, no.
I literally, it's literally fine. I was like, I only came over there to heal you. Oh my gosh, so you could stay on point a little longer. I'll wait till these people res, and then maybe we'll group.
Yeah. We'll regroup. But yeah, that's like one of the biggest portions of you know, Frankenstein and Frankenstein's creation that we can really see, especially within like modern. Ooh, I'm just gonna wait. So
I got you.
Thank you.
Thank
you for the Heelys, for my feelies.
Of course, see.
There we go.
Oh, you were so dead.
Yeah. Slay May, get in there. Nice.
Oh, gotta run.
Go. Oh no! Now we gotta play a little bit of word association. Have you ever done word association?
Yeah, it's like you say say a word and then I say the first thing that comes to mind, right?
Exactly.
Hell yeah.
So I'm gonna say some phrases and you get to tell me the first thing that pops into your mind, whatever that may be. Got it?
Sure.
Okay, so the first word is monster.
Ooh, nothing popped into my mind. I'm too focused on killing this Ramatra. Okay.
Mood, honestly.
I think first monster, the pinhead. Or what, I feel like he has a better name, but I don't, I was like thinking like Dead by Daylight. Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. Thank you.
Okay, I see that.
I don't even know why.
Should be an announcement. I mean, I got it. I see it.
Oh. Oh, it didn't count me touching it. Oh, that's so sad.
Oh no. R.I.P. We tried and gum. Oh, okay. I see it. So some of the things I think about when I think of monsters just inherently is kind of just like metaphors for different things, metaphors for otherness, feared, being misunderstood, stuff like that. Also, Jigstorm, you should be able to find it in the announcements if you go there. I also did post some pictures. I hope you see them. Um, but yeah, that's kind of what I think of when I really get into it and look at these different words.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, we all have different things of what we go ahead and feel like and when we hear these words. But those are some of the ones that I feel like when I think about the word monster.
I think besides monsters, the only thing that comes up is like Junji Ito or like body horror, or like Guro, like the
Oh
fashion
yeah.
style. Yeah, I don't like. I'm so literal in my head too. People be like, "Ah, word association." I'm like, I can't. I'm gonna say so. You're gonna be like, car," and I'm gonna be like, engine, and not like, nothing that makes sense to the conversation being had. But whatever.
That's so valid. That's so valid. Honestly, no, I got it. I got it. So our next little phrase is the horror fandom.
Oh, Dead by Daylight, Friday the 13th, Community, Black Ops 2 Zombies, for some reason. That created the Black Ops 2 Zombies community, and then like in turn going into like Gary's mod and like all of like the horror things that came out of YouTube out of that era. Peak, SCP, creepypasta, all of those things come to mind.
Oh my god, why am I going so fast? What the fuck? I've never played this character. That's a lie. I have actually.
They're so annoying, but it's okay.
Oh my god, my commands are all messed up.
No, you're fine.
Oh, I pressed window instead of. Oh shit, and I exited. Oh shit.
They're not even paying attention to you. What the hell?
Oh my god, what is going on? Hello? What is going on? Hello? Okay.
Hello.
There we go.
No one's on the point.
Hello?
Hello?
Okay, there we go. My commands were all messed up.
Our team is unfortunately dead.
Oh my god, I need to switch this command. This is going to get me killed.
Oh my god, that Ash is... Wowza. That Ash sure was something.
I keep pressing the Windows button when I mean to. Oh my gosh, it's not letting me move my. Okay, there we go. Hello? That's
Hi.
crazy.
Oh, this Ash is gonna kill me.
Oh my goodness, there we go. Next word, sorry.
No, you're fine.
Horror.
Camp horror. I think of the movie ChUWUnky, like the Thanks for Everything, I think. And then there was a drag like I don't know if it was like a TV show or a YouTube show called like Dracula 666 or something by the Boulet brothers. And they did like a Dead by Daylight thing. Yeah, those are my thoughts with that. Oh, I cannot get to you. There you go.
Was able to slam through. Thank you so much.
Of course. This Ash wants me so bad. Oh,
Woo!
that was something I've never seen before.
What happened?
When the Orisa did her ult, the Symmetra used teleport under the Orisa to force her behind point, so she triple
Oh,
killed us.
wow.
Yeah, I've never seen that before.
I've never seen that either. That's crazy.
Fucking massive strats, like, more power to them.
Whee! Oh my goodness. But yeah, I love Dragula, and I love drag in general.
Oh, well, yikes. Yeah, I think that unfortunately with the area that I live in, there were not a lot of places that let me go in um under like drinking age. So I have not unfortunately gone to one yet. Can I get up there? Yes. Does she kill me? No, she doesn't.
Oh my god, crazy!
But so yeah, I just recently turned 21 this year, and so I have not been to a drag show yet just because there has not been any around my area. But as soon as there is, it is a goal and a dream, and I will go see a drag performer. I don't care.
I love that. Hell yeah. Honestly, drag is such a wonderful art form as well. I feel like more
Yes.
folks should be able to enjoy drag. Ooh. Oh my goodness. I do also love the inclusion, especially with ones like Dragula, of like they thems, drag things, drag monsters.
Yes. Oh, I got a Risa speared. Ouch.
And now I'm like, oh Jesus. For our last one, our last little one, we have Fangs.
I'm gonna think of some kinky shit. You can't be calling. You can't. No. Hold on. Let's keep it family friendly.
You're okay. You're
I think
okay.
mainly of like the Cullens. God, sorry, my brain's blinking. I'm trying to keep you alive. But the Cullens, like Twilight, is a very real thing for me. I also feel like this is not horror, but like there were a lot of alternative universes of like stuff for. Oh, I'm so dead. For like warrior cats, and that was a big like thing that was associated with that for a while. There were so many horror AUs way back.
Love that. I love the warrior cat mention.
Thanks.
Iconic.
I feel like my chat is like, oh yeah, this guy is just like really kinky and like, you know, and I'm just like, no, I'm a fucking nerd. I hate to tell you. Oh, god damn it, again. This Orisa, man.
Oh no, I got caught with the bob.
We're right there too. I might swap to Lucio for this last part and see if that helps.
I'm just messing around on ball.
We love that.
Have you ever thought about how horror parallels a lot of what goes on in the real world? Oh, well, I got
Yes. I feel like almost every single horror movie in some capacity relates to what's going on, at least now in like the world and everything, because like a most recent example that I can think of is I saw the TV Glow, I think it's called.
Oh yeah.
I haven't seen that one yet, but I know that it is a massive trans allegory or like struggling with self-identity and like that kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Other examples could be like like when Chucky was coming out, like around that era of like the first releases of Chucky, I know that there was like a really big thing about like internet
Mhm.
safety, as well as like there were all these pedophiles being convicted and like a bunch of other stuff. Um, I'm sure that there's a lot of older movies that I'm not really thinking of that could kind of have an impact there.
Mhm.
I know that bringing back up like Tu Wong Fu in that movie is also the character Rodriguez, Jesus, is also kind of a really big trans allegory. But that movie as an entirety is more or less like it was reflected during a time where like drag was becoming more mainstream, and people
Mhm.
were like kind of playing it off as like cross dressing and oh they're just like wannabe women or whatever. When in reality like they're just like oh this is just a form of expression. This is just an art form. Like it has literally nothing to do with wanting to be trans. Although Chi Chi herself is allegedly trans throughout the movie, I think that it's a very good representation of how to teach someone out of ignorance and kind of work with them to kind of let them see your perspective and then work together to form that perspective. It's very inspiring. It's a great movie.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Definitely agree. Definitely agree. I think for the next little segment, we get to go into a lot of the thank you, Nana. We get to go into some of the more deeper parts of queer history.
Oh yeah.
But to finish up the little segment with queerness paralyze or queerness and horror really paralleling the real world. There is a little section I like to bring up where
Mm-hmm.
older movies at the time, like Night of the Living Dead, The Fly. These are very old movies, about like 90 years old at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Have come out, you know, pretty. Oh my gosh, Malcolm Mash,
Mama.
let's go. Um, a lot of these things that have come out, you know, really going in on a lot of different allegories that we look at. Because when we think about them, we heavily primarily think of, oh, I accidentally canceled. Oh, I did it. We think about a lot of the times how movies really correlate with us.
Mm-hmm.
And so one of the ways that these movies really correlated with people was that we see them a lot during the AIDS epidemic,
Mm-hmm.
being compared with some of these. Ah, no.
We almost had it too.
Yeah. Being compared with the trans allegories and then the AIDS epidemic going on at the same time, we
Mm-hmm.
definitely see it being compared to one another. Because we see a lot of it going on specifically. Okay, I get caught in that. Of course I do. Oh wait, no, that's Arme. Oh, we reflected it.
Oh,
Oh, I don't know what's going on. I have no clue what's going on,
I
actually.
also have no clue what's going on. I'm gonna.
So going towards more of our queer history,
Mm-hmm.
are you aware of what the Stonewall Uprising is?
I feel like hashtag fake gay. I know some of it, and I kind of know why the beginning of it and why it happening was important. But I don't know all of the actual facts about the history itself, which kind of
Mm-hmm.
makes me feel bad because it's such a big moment in queer history. I know that it was during an era in the United States history when there was like the whole like communism red scare thing going on. Oh, I'm so dead. But that's about the extent. I just know that it was in like the 50s and 60s ish, and there was like a lot of backlash for people like literally just being gay, and then there was a lot of like police riots and a lot of brutality, and I think that's really all I know, to be honest.
Of course. So the Stonewall Uprising happened in 1969. It happened for 6 days. It happened for 6 days. A lot of people think it only happened. No, you don't, Torb. Hello? Man's really tried to come in here and just like. He really thought he was gonna come in and just go ahead and like. I'm just gonna sit here with me. Oh no, Brig. Oh my goodness. I will go into it a little bit more right now. So sorry, I'm like.
No, you're fine. I think we're all focusing. Oh, there's a Malma coming behind you.
Have to reload. Oh, they're coming in hot. Aw, man. Almost. Okay. So, the Stonewall Uprising, also known as the Stonewall Riots, happened in 1969. So a little precursor slash like backstory as to what actually happened in Stonewall is that Stonewall, they're gonna try and trap us in.
Oh shit.
We gotta burn it. Aw. It happened for 6 days. A little bit of a, what do you call it? A little bit of history is that, the Stonewall Inn was actually, ran and owned by the mafia, and they basically gave us that spot as a little like wink wink nudge nudge, like you scratch our back, we'll scratch yours,
right.
And so what they did was they would also like sometimes alert us over some types of like police upcomings, like if they were gonna try and come through and, you know, come after us. They would also really just like keep the place up for us so that are able to go in and really help go through everything. I need to kill this man. Oh, and this Murphy. Yay! But what happened was there was a series of different police raids and everything, and so when we think about this, you know, place and time, a lot of people really think about what happened as what happened was there was so many different ways that we were being mistreated, but during this time, this is actually when a lot of progression had come through into the US. We were gaining small municipal, you know, like capital from different states where we were getting marriage equality. And so what happened was we went through and we were gaining all of these titles, and people were getting scared that what was going to happen was that we were going to gain marriage equality a lot sooner than we thought we were going to. And so historians have actually mentioned that if the AIDS epidemic had not happened, we may have seen marriage equality happen a lot sooner than we did.
Which is such that's such an unfortunate reality.
Yeah, and it was mostly because of all of the different things going on. Oh, I did not notice she froze me. It's because of all the negativity that followed after that.
Mm-hmm.
But there were numerous fights, there were numerous different, uprisings. Stonewall was not the first one, but it was one of the most important, most seen because of the mass media coverage that came with it. And so it happened because of all of that mass media coverage. We were really able to go through and see what we were going through. Oh, nice. Since the Mafia owned the Stonewall Inn, what happened was police were scared that we were gaining more and more traction. And so they would, at first, they would come and they would accept bribes, actually, from the LGBT community. Kind of being like, hey, like, we don't see you, but we're keeping an eye on you.
Right.
Then it progressed into them entrapping the LGBT community, specifically trans/drag queens. And a lot of drag queens and transgender individuals at the time didn't identify as transgender, as the term wasn't popularized.
Right.
They would identify as transvestites and use the term drag queen as a way to associate themselves with their gender. And so they did this in a way so that we were able to really see, like, hey, these people are coming through and they are, oh my god, I need to kill this freaking Torb. He just keeps coming in. I'm annoyed with him.
Yeah.
But so the reason we got that is because of all of the different things. Oh, I am anti to all, holy hell, holy shit, that was big. The reason that it happened is because they were scared, and so they would entrap gendered, different gendered individuals in order to really try and separate the community. And so what they would do is they would have them go into trigger warning. They would flirt with them and have them go through different areas and whatnot.
Yeah.
In order to really keep, the appearance. Oh my god, this thing is going forever. Why did it last so long? Holy shit. The Maywall trapped me so good. It trapped me in so good. And so they would go and they would flirt with them and they would bring them into bathrooms. And if they were not the gender assigned at birth, they would actually go ahead and, ooh, I need some Heelys for my feelies. Oh, I'm dead here.
Ugh. It's so rough. This place just on this bridge.
Yeah.
Oh.
There we go. So one day, police decided we are not going to just sit here and allow everything to happen. We are going to actually go in and we are going to go ahead and just go in and basically go after everyone. And so that's when they went in and they said whether you are whatever or not, you are just going to be arrested because we are arresting you on crimes of whatever they deemed. I'm going to point. There's a May though.
They took care of her.
Point real quick.
Yeah.
May was just sitting there and I was like, hello? Miss it, Anna, miss it. And so they went in and the person to throw the first punch at Stonewall was actually a butch masked lesbian named Stormy Delavere.
Okay.
Stormy would actually throw the first punch, which would go through and actually help really start the whole thing about everything that was going on. Come on, Anna. Oh my gosh. Not her surviving that. That's crazy.
Right.
I'm just bad.
No, honestly, all of our team like dipped out, and I don't know how they died, but they did.
Oh
I
no.
don't know that there's a way we get back there. No, that's unfortunate. Oh yeah, just
Aw.
barely.
Ooh. But yeah, that was Stonewall. And so that was really just going through and was one of the pinnacles of queer history
Mm.
because of the mass media coverage. Now, the reason it was so pinnacle is I died so fast there. Holy crap, he did so much damage.
Yeah, that game was rough.
Oh
I
my
couldn't get into
goodness.
a position where I could like boop anybody, so I was literally just like stuck there. I was like, okay, what if I lost my mind, huh?
Yes, yes, literally, literally. Um, okay, there we go. I'm gonna do that just so I can like give myself a little break because I was like trying to get everything and like the queer history part is something I'm so passionate about and I don't want to get anything
Yes.
wrong while I'm
No,
saying it.
we can definitely
So
take a break to talk about
little,
it.
yeah, little pause just so we're able to go through. I'll keep us on the beginning page though, so that we have a little background with us. Some of this the Overwatch my hero our One Punch Man collab. So, yeah, that's what happened with Stonewall. It was one of the most pivotal moments in queer history, US based, because um, of the mass media coverage. That is why it is so important because of the mass media coverage and subsequent pride traditions that happened
Mm-hmm.
afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
Years afterwards, the following year there was the Stonewall parade, and then following we continuously had the Stonewall parade, and that
Mm-hmm.
happened continuously, which allowed us to continuously fight for equality. However, I do want to point out that the Stonewall uprising did mark a change primarily for cishet white queer individuals, as
Yeah.
POC and gender nonconforming individuals didn't really have the same means to really like
Mm-hmm.
hide who they were, and they were also othered in that way as well. So, although it was a big win, it was primarily a win for cis white
Yeah.
het individuals.
And that's so unfortunate during such a time where like community was so important and everybody coming out to make sure that like they were trying to change everything, like they were trying to change culture of gay people for
Mm-hmm.
everyone, and then it just kind of backfiring and only changing for um like cis het people is very unfortunate. And it's just like unfortunately a product of its time, and it's so sad to look back on now too, knowing that that is like something that's happening, and that's some like it's still happening today. Like
Mm-hmm.
this is still a very real problem in our current like political climate with gay people and like queer people in general. Just any sort of person of color being denounced for not looking a certain way, not acting a certain way, not being a certain gender, whatever. And it's so sad.
Exactly, exactly. And that's one of the biggest reasons why a lot of people, when we talk about Stonewall, I always try, sorry, I'm eating.
You're fine.
Mm. But that's why one of the reasons when we talk about Stonewall, I always have to put in that it was a change, it was a good change, but it was primarily for cis white individuals.
Mm-hmm.
Also, going from that, have you heard of the lavender scare? You touched on it a little bit in the previous answer.
Yeah, I can like again, I kind of understand it. It was like this really big scare of like from cishet people being like, "Oh, gay people are gonna ruin our lives. Gay people are gonna ruin our marriages," and like literally, like it was just a propagandized tactic to incite fear and invite like hatred towards gay people
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because of it was during the like socialism, like communism, like whole scare thing where America was just like,
Mm-hmm.
you want free healthcare? Bad. Communist. Anyways, gay people suck. We hate them. And yeah.
Exactly, exactly. And I'm just like, honestly, like that's something that is really scary, but like it happens, you
Mm-hmm.
know? It's something that is going on even right now, but it's like making a big comeback, unfortunately, is the lavender scare. So the lavender scare, for anyone who doesn't know, it was a scare tactic done primarily by people in the world that were higher ups in the government. So they figured out, holy shit, we have so many queer individuals within our government. We need to get rid of them. But how? How will we
Mm-hmm.
get rid of them? Easy enough. It was during the time of the communist, Red Scare. And so this is the queer equivalent of that. And
Mm-hmm.
what happened was they forced out LGBT people who were within the government. And so if you were LGBT and you were a part of the government, your job was essentially gone. They
Mm-hmm.
also would use this as a means to blackmail one another, unfortunately. And so some folks would try and lead others on, and then they would try and blackmail them once they're like, haha, I got you, you're queer, I'm going to hold this against you unless you give me X amount of money, and different things of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
It also, unfortunately, really led to a high spike of queer unalives because people didn't want to be found out. It was still at a time where that was very much a big no-no, and individuals would be disowned from their families if anyone found out.
Mm-hmm.
And so, not to say that that doesn't happen today, because it unfortunately still does, but it was even more prevalent at that time.
It was such a drastically
And
higher
so
rate then too.
Exactly, exactly. And so the lavender scare was a ploy made by the government to essentially say, like, hey, these people, these queer individuals are weak. That's also where we get a lot of the stereotypes that came from being queer, that queer people are weak, that they're sissies, that they don't know how to hold a secret, that they, X, Y, and Z. This all comes and stems from a lot of what people viewed us as,
Mm-hmm.
specifically during the lavender scare, because that was one of the primary selling points, is that queer people are quote unquote weak. And that's where a lot of these different stereotypes come from, because people don't understand the nuances of being queer. You can be effeminate and still be strong, And
Yes,
it's
yeah.
that point of masculinity or hyper masculinity that people really wanted, peak, male core,
You have to be an alpha to be able to get a
yeah, you have to
woman.
be alpha omega Chad, bro, to get the women, to be a
God.
true man, to build a car, all that stuff. That
Mm-hmm.
was the peak of what people wanted. But going a little bit further, are you familiar with the with the Canadian LGBT history side of
So
things?
anything outside of the US, I'm not 100% on, besides like very small stuff in certain parts of Europe just because I want to leave the country. So, no, I'm not very familiar on Canadian stuff, but I would love to learn and I'm ready to be enlightened.
Of course. So, Canadian history. Canada, oh my god, I sound so freaking American. Canada, Canada legalized, they didn't actually legalize same-sex marriage yet, but in 1969, the same year as Stonewall, Canada decriminalized homosexuality. So homosexuality was actually a crime for many years, US and Canada based,
Mm-hmm.
and they decriminalized it in 1969, which was again one of the big wins for queer folks, though that wasn't immediately met with equality. There's still a lot of hate out there,
Mm-hmm.
but under the rule of Pierre Trudeau, um, that is when Pierre stated, um, that there is no place for the state in the bedrooms of our nations. And so that was a big win for us. However, police forces did not like that. They did not like that whatsoever. And so in an effort to try and bring back this sort of like criminalization of queer individuals, in 1981, um, there were about four or several different bathhouses within the downtown Toronto area in which over 200 police officers would coordinate a raid. They would coordinate raids called Operation Soap. And so what they did was they would claim that these raids would result in quote unquote 6 months of undercover work, which was bullshit.
Right.
Um, saying that these bathhouses were essentially brothels or what's called a bawdy house,
Okay.
BAWDY, and that they're selling sex and they're doing this and blah blah blah. And look at the queers are criminals. How dare they?
Like
And would even
white
go
people,
so far.
like cis gay people don't go to like brothels back then in this time all over the world.
Exactly,
Hello.
exactly. Hi, official stud VA. Welcome in. I'm the bear that goes too. It's nice to meet you. We're talking about queer history. We're talking about Canada and Canada's Operation Soap bathhouse raids.
That's
And so they
crazy.
would bring out these men. They would bring out, I want to say, it was something of like 280 men. Over 280 men were brought out. Um,
Hmm.
they were brought out of these bathhouses by the police in Canada, in Toronto, because they were being arrested. They were being arrested for the crime of homosexuality slash because homosexuality was decriminalized. That's what they wanted it that. That's what they wanted to happen, but what they had to go on was bullshit terms of this is a brothel. They were selling themselves. They were selling
Yeah,
sex.
so on like
Um,
constitute or on a charge of like prostitution and not.
mhm.
That's
But
insane.
most of those men were all found innocent.
Good.
Most of them were found innocent, which was a huge win, and it honestly had a lot of public opinions change towards the Toronto gay community because afterwards there were protests that followed saying that the police were way too heavy-handed with this because the police
Hmm.
were honestly going after them, and it would happen that there was even different parts of Canada where these police were so after these people, they would bring them out of the bathhouses while they were unclothed
Mm.
and then try and charge them for public indecency, even though they were dragged out of the bathhouse.
Wow. Like, imagine going about your business and just like being literally pulled by like I don't know. I know that like back maybe this was also in the US. I'd have to refresh my sources, but I know that like gay people used to be is this too this might not be. Gay people used to be rolled in carpets and a certain action used to be performed against them to unalive them very very morbidly. And like
Mm-hmm,
that's the
mm-hmm.
same level to me of like just indecency of like humiliation like for what like damn all of this just because they were gay like
Exactly, just because they dared to love who
yeah
they loved.
yeah
It was extremely unfortunate. Um, but that is the Toronto bathhouse raids.
mm.
But fortunately, in 2005, that is actually when Canada would fully legalize same-sex marriage and marriage equality.
When was same-sex marriage legalized in the United States? I feel like it was much later.
2015.
Yeah, I was gonna say I was like 2015, 2016, but then in my head I was like that sounds wrong. How like uh, I know that like there are very large strides in like the United States, or there were rather, let me past tense. There were large strides towards making like marriage equality a lot more equal than it is just saying like, oh, you guys can get married now. But it's very disheartening to see that we're that far behind in like
Mhm.
2005, dude. Like, holy shit.
Yeah, 10 years. Also, hi Rezi, how are you? Um, yeah, 10 years after Canada. And
Wow.
then it's been further protected by the Respect for Marriage Act in 2022, which what that does is it requires federal governments and all states to recognize same-sex marriage performed
Mm,
legally within any state. Um, though obviously right now there is a big fight because people are trying to get that overturned,
mm,
which is insane. IMO. I think
mm-hmm,
that's absolutely
mm-hmm.
freaking insane.
I
Um,
agree.
so I have this actually on my channel. I do exclamation point pride. These are all the amazing different teams. I am actually a part of the Lambda Legal Stream team. Um, and Lambda Legal has many queer fights. They are a huge advocate for a bunch of different things. So they are a huge advocate for the LGBTQIA plus HIV plus
Mm,
HIV positive community, and
mm-hmm,
are confronting on onslaughts of attacks under current presidential administration. And
mm-hmm,
Lambda Legal is there to face them all head on. And so Lambda Legal continues, critical work legally. And there's a
mm-hmm,
bunch of ongoing current cases that Lambda is actually a part of. And some of the active cases are BPJ versus West Virginia Board of Education.
mm.
Lambda is going to the Supreme Court, actually, defending the rights of transgender students to participate in sports.
I like, okay. I find that as a trans person, I find that so unbelievably like weird, right? Like our government in the United States is like, "Hey besties, so we don't like gay people and we don't like trans people. Great. Whatever, like not that it's awesome or anything, but like when we start like when we start to factor children into the equation and you're worried about what a minor is doing with their body or with like I don't know. I just don't see sports are not a sexual contact sport. Like anything in sports are not really any sort of like sexual contact under any precedent, and they want to ban children from playing what fucking tag football. Like I it's just it's baffling. It's so baffling, it's so mind-boggling, and it makes me so sad.
Exactly, exactly. I think it's especially crazy because so there's a comedian, right?
Mm.
And they're like, "Oh, my space is a safe space, for trans individuals, the blah blah
Mhm.
blah blah." And they mention, I think trans kids deserve to play sports.
Mhm.
So if you have a problem with it, and then someone speaks up, they're like, "I have a problem with it," and he's like, "You do?" He's like, "What sport do you play?" And they're like, "I play pickleball now." And they're like, "Oh, so a trans baddie beats your ass in pickleball?" They're like, "Ah, man, all these trans individuals playing fucking pickleball, man, and we need to get them out of here."
Like
So now, whenever I think about it, I just think about trans people playing pickleball.
I just don't understand the like. How do I even explain this? Hold on. So like, okay, I don't understand any logic. Let me precedent with that, okay, to the viewers and everything, to my chat, my lovely peoples. I don't understand any hate towards anyone, whether or not they're people of color or part of the LGBT community or they're Native American or anything like that. I don't understand why, when we don't understand something, as humans, our first response typically tends to be, oh, I hate you. Oh, you're weird. I don't like that. What I further don't understand, what doesn't make sense to me, is in a not like why this plagues cis het people so much, why they're so worried about what children are doing, because it's so misguided. Like all the problems that kids are having in sports, all the problems that would come up from a trans individual being a part of a sport is not from the children. It's from the adults. And that
Exactly.
sickens me. Like, I'm like, you're worried about kids expressing themselves, which we as parents tell children to do no matter what. Like, there's always, I mean, even as a child, like, like the whole notion in the early 2000s was like, be yourself, don't let anyone tell you who you can or can't be, like, dream big and achieve that, and like that's great. And now you're telling me you're like, I don't know, like we're okay with kids being furries or being Therians. Not that that's a bad thing, but just using that as an example. But you're not okay with a kid saying that they'd like to be an opposite gender. It doesn't, there's so many loopholes, and I feel like there's not really a way to apply logic. But I think that's why that this whole situation makes me so angry for people, and especially for like trans kids, is because there is no logic here. And when you're a developing young adult, young teen, logic is really the only thing that makes sense to you. And in a world of hormones and heightening emotions, and you're trying to not only figure out yourself but figure out the world around you, and the only thing that you really have that is stable besides your support group are the points of logic. And then you have all of these adults telling you like, oh, you're awful, you're horrible, you shouldn't exist, whatever, and we expect kids to come out of this unscathed and okay. And it's just, the real epidemic is the adults, not the children. But that's my rant.
Totally understand. No, yeah, 100%, 100%. And yeah, with I feel like with this segment, it can get very sometimes it can get very political, especially when we're talking about like
Mm-hmm.
the legalization of queer marriage in not only the U.S. but also in Canada. And
Mm-hmm.
then as we move on, we're going to be going into the U.K.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it is really honestly like adult issues, and we're bringing adult issues to children, and I think that's
Mm-hmm.
one of the main things I really dislike. I
Mm-hmm.
work with kids, I work with middle schoolers, and it's like a lot of the times it's like these kids don't care.
Right.
Like they don't care about a lot of different things. They
Mm-hmm.
don't care about school, that's one thing. But it's like you tell them, they're like, oh, you can't like that person because, oh my god, no, I know, their highlights look so uneven. I'm like, no, what? Like, that's what they'll go to. They'll go towards just random shit.
Right, and they'll be
And it's
like,
just like, oh my
those pair of
God.
pants are fucking disgusting. That's why I don't like them. Not because they're gay. Like, I like,
Exactly. They're like, oh no, I love them. Like, I love them. I don't care that they're trans. I just
right.
hate the fact that they like,
They got
they
that
like
like
big girl
fucking
money.
2004
Like,
Justin Bieber bowl haircut. Like, what is it doing for them?
yeah. Like they're kids. They argue over the stupidest things.
Right.
Like
And we're
they
and we're
really
bringing
don't
these like
understand, and we're just trying to like we just want to support them.
right,
Honestly,
exactly.
like
And I came from a school where like I was kind of closeted for most of the last tail end of my high school years. And there was an individual, and I like don't really know how much I've talked about this on my channel before, but there was an individual who I went to school with. I was born and raised in the South. Well, not born, but raised in the South. And
mhm,
I went to a school where like any kind of outside of the norm was very frowned upon. And touching on
mhm,
like kids don't really know. Kids are known what they're taught. And in my area, like it what
mhm,
hatred is a generational thing. It is a generational teaching. And there were very, very few kids who were openly gay throughout middle school and high school. But when I came out as queer in high school and like I said that I was gay, whatever, um, there was an individual who I went to school with who came out as non-binary, and the amount of bullying and hatred that they received simply for not even changing their pronouns, just changing their gender identity was absolutely astounding, and it is what like deterred me from coming out at all. And to think that we're telling these teenagers like, "Oh, you can't do this," and it's just like it's now a nationwide spread of hate rather than like a couple of states or a couple of people in other places, whatever. It's like the nation is teaching everyone to not have a sense of community, to not have faith, to not have trust in the people around them. And I can't tell which is more sad to me, whether or
mhm.
not it's we aren't allowed to have a community because we're queer, or whether or not we're not allowed to have a sense of community because we're not allowed to trust anyone. And I look up to that person a lot. I lost contact with them after I left and I moved to the Pacific Northwest, but they are a huge inspiration for why I advocate so hard as I do now as an adult, because a part of me regrets not using the privilege I do have as a like white presenting male, even though, you know, I'm not cis or anything, but like having the white passing privilege to have like stuck up for them and said something and been the not the bigger person, but like without like a better word there, like been the louder person, I guess, and siphoned off some of that hate that they received. And that is like kind of where my message comes from, I guess, is like I support a lot of the community around me. A lot of the reasons I'm going into the field that I'm going into now is to provide care for trans kids when they need it, no questions asked. And
Mhm.
I think that I just hope that things in our political climate change enough that these kids can grow up to be accepted and in a community where they're welcome.
Exactly, exactly. Yeah, I 100% agree. 100% agree. Going forward towards more history,
Mm.
just to continue us onwards, because I
Sorry.
know we're doing a little segment. No, that's totally fine. Um, are you aware of what Section 28 was?
Y-
And then I'll put us back into Overwatch.
yes,
I forgot I had it up. I was like,
No, it's
whoops.
okay. I was having fun. I know that Section 28 was a law slash something passed in the UK, talking about the like I think it was making homosexuality illegal. I could be totally wrong, but I think that's what it was.
So Section 28 was a law prohibiting the teaching of homosexuality slash homosexual
Ah,
acts
okay.
and whatnot
Mm-hmm.
within schools primarily, which heavily, that's why I wanted to bring it up, is because we were talking about kids and whatnot, and we were talking
Mm-hmm.
about, different things. And Section 28 limited a lot of LGBTQIA2S plus children in the way that they were not allowed to be taught about essentially what was going on, in the world having to do with like queerness.
Mm.
And so that's what Section 28 was.
Mm.
And so it actually enacted a lot of discourse, because individuals would actually go ahead and they would uh what do you call it, they would protest the BBC. They would protest at the BBC, actually.
Mm.
And I was like,
Mm.
oh wow.
As they
It's
should.
very, very, yeah, literally
Mm.
as they should. um and then the second part, do you know what the LGSM was?
I do not.
So the LGSM is the Lesbians and Gays Support the Minors. Minors, MINERS, not
Okay.
ORS, not the
Okay.
children. Um, and it was because the miners were undergoing a strike, like major strikes, to the point where they were literally, um, they were basically going forward, and it was like, oh, they were not getting paid, and they were under like such horrible living conditions. Dummy, don't peek me. They were undergoing such horrible living conditions that they had to go ahead and try and get away from those conditions. And the LGSM, the lesbian and gay community, actually very prevalently went and helped them.
Aw.
And it actually showed a lot of love for the oh oh, I don't know what that character does. Stop going after me. But yeah, it actually allowed the mining community to show support for a lot of the queer community as well, which is really cool because after the mining strike was over, we also got to see them really go in for the. Woo! I almost died. They went in and they helped support the queer community.
Okay, that's like all I know is that my like whenever I hear stories like this, right, and it's just like queer people literally going to do like anything and just showing compassion, it's always so uplifting because it makes me feel like there's some good still left in the world. And that makes me happy.
Yeah, definitely. Honestly, it's such an inspiring story too because we see so much of the community on both sides, right? Like on the queer side and on the hetero side and whatnot, or even non-hetero, non-queer, like so many different options and whatnot going forward. It's crazy to think about. There's so much stuff. Oh my god, I need some healies.
I got canceled out of my ult. This is so sad.
Oh, I'm trying to. Damn, that has such a large radius. I didn't even know. Going forward, are you familiar with any of the pre-colonial identities that have survived colonialism,
So
colonization?
when I looked at this one before, the only thing that I could think of is like, are you talking about like Two Spirit, or are you talking about like people that were identified as queer before queer was really an identity?
So more so like Two Spirit, the different sort of ways people would identify with instead of queer before we really would have these identities.
Yeah, Two Spirit is kind of the only one that I really know of. There are probably a lot more than that, but this is all that I know personally.
Yeah, of course. So Two Spirit is definitely one that is very popular. We can think about. There are also ones that we can think about, like the Hijra community. The Hijra community in South Asia is very strong, and it's also one very heavily talked about for being. I thought we were gonna. I was trying to destroy Zen before he got in the immortality.
Ugh. This Junkrat.
I know. I can't push forward. I feel like.
I'm trying to get to him, but it's rough skis.
But we also have the Mutzes from Mexico. We have the Fa'afafine from Samoa. We have there's a lot, and these are just a few, obviously, like to name from what I know of. And then we also have the did I name them? Yes. Okay, I did name all the ones I have, but it's kind of funny when we mention these different oh, I need some heals.
Oh, it didn't let me get my thing off, and no one's on point. No.
No.
Unfortunate.
Unfortunate. Now, bringing it kind of all together, why do you think horror has been so historically coded within queerness?
Repeat that one more time. Sorry, I cut out.
Yeah. Why do you think horror has been so historically coded in queerness?
Oh, I think it's because, like, I think queer people, and not to speak for everyone, but just in the experiences that I've had, is I think that people relate to it a lot, like that feeling of being shunned, not really having a place, being different, as well as it's like rooted in a projection or like very loud like insecurity of other people viewing us as like something to be feared or something to hate. And I think
Hmm.
that's why they're so close knit.
Definitely, definitely. I completely agree with it. I think that there's, tons of different ones that, tons of different ways why queerness and horror really come together.
Mhm.
Who are some queer creators who you think have shaped horror directly?
Mm, I don't know of a lot.
Hmm.
I know that a lot of the early creators from the original horror kind of created the paveway to young minds who wanted to create horror in the future. Um, but obviously, I don't think that relates to queerness so much as it does with like the concept of creation, like artists inspiring other artists from a young age, like that kind of thing.
Hmm.
Speaking personally as well, like those movies are very inspiring. But I think in relation to queerness, the only real thing that I can think of is like recently, within like the past 5 years, I heard that there was a, um, was it a Chucky? Like it was either the movie or there was a show or something where there is an individual in one of them who is like outspokenly, either non-binary or gender fluid, if I recall correctly. And I think that that itself like kind of paved the way for a lot of the queer icons that we see today in horror. Is like a lot of like these creators admitting like yes, like this can be queer coded, or yes, this should be XYZ, and then that has created a space to change how we view the horror part of it, or the queer part of being
Hmm.
in horror, I guess.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. So in Chucky, the Seed of Chucky, actually, which was a movie, it goes into Chucky and Tiffany's kid, whose name was Glenn slash Glenda,
Okay.
and so they were gender fluid, and they really went forward. And sorry, I was widow fighting.
No, you're fine.
But they went forward and they were very, very queer coded in the sense of, they had two different identities, Glenn and Glenda, and Glenn was more passive, whereas Glenda was a little bit more murderous.
Mm.
And in the show Chucky, they're brought back as kind of like a callback in the form of two kids, two twins, because this is kind of like happens after Seed of Chucky,
Mm.
and what happens is Glenn and Glenda. Oop, I went too heavy in there. I was gonna die. Is they Oh man. They were very openly queer, and Chucky was actually accepting too, which is kind of funny, hearing that Chucky is an LGBT ally, and they're like, yeah, they're gender fluid, non-binary. It's
Yeah.
like, what the fuck, Chucky, bro?
Right.
Chucky, our icon?
Ah, I got headshotted. Damn. And it's like it's crazy to know like my understanding of like queer horror being like changed so much by learning that like a specific individual from the show or from a movie is like explicitly queer. I just find that in itself really endearing because I was like, it does leave queer people feeling seen. And also, I mean, it creates like horror movies are not just loved by queer people, so it creates an environment where like people now are more accepting of queer people because because cis people are the ones digesting the new media.
Exactly, exactly. And I feel like it's kind of missed too that it's kind of missed that queer folks are, you know, a large part of what makes the queer community, the queer community,
Yeah.
is the horror is the horror fandom.
Yes,
Because I mean, we
yeah.
have shows like Dragula, that are extremely queer and extremely prevalent, especially within. Okay, buddy, I'm just gonna. Hello? Can I get this in the big place? Okay. Crazy.
Oh my gosh, the Symmetra.
How do you feel queer reclamation of horror looks like today?
I think that that is my favorite question so far, simply because it is a very massive, like, I would like to say that we're in the kind of like the horror renaissance in terms of like queerness, being a part of horror, that is, simply because there are so many icons now. Like, I see the TV Glow, there's characters in Life is Strange who are queer. Oh, I'm dead. And like, and just a lot of new horror media itself, there just seems to be so many queer people, which is not like, it's not something we've ever seen before. It's super awesome that this is the thing that's going on, because it leaves so many doors open, and I don't know, it makes me really happy. But I can't think of like any off the bat besides those. I mean, and the Chucky one that I mentioned earlier.
I definitely feel that, and I feel like you're right. I feel like there's a lot going on within the queer, you know, universe that really goes forward with, you know, LGBT themes, and I feel like that's something that's very well done and something spoken about specifically too with, like horror movies, because it's like not even just talking about horror movies, but horror and horror and queerness in general. That's crazy. Did you see that?
Yes.
They
Oh,
ulted to me. That is wild. Also, I think movie like directors and creators like A24 also give us a very. Oh my god. I was just trying to go through. That's funny. They're also giving us so much more. Hello? It gives us such a like you said, like a queer renaissance within horror too, because of all of these different movies and whatnot.
which I really admire personally, because it's just really nice to have all of these things, and for this to be such a big part of the community that we've built now, is that like we're seeing the results of it, if that makes sense. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm dead.
Oh.
Huh. The Rhine wanted me very badly.
Don't worry, I'll be right behind you. I need help.
She really comes after me. That's wild. If queer history is often about survival and horror is also about survival, what do you think they teach us together?
such a cop-out answer, but I genuinely think of like how to survive. Like, yeah, that's the whole point, and like that's what they do. Oh, there's an alarm going off. Sorry. I think that's my alarm to take my meds. Hello. So,
Take your meds, med check.
I will after this game. I'll take them. But there's like it teaches you honestly like how to survive with like everything, honestly. Like in a perfect example of this is recently like there's a show, it's called Yellow Jackets, and I believe that that show really teaches you kind of how to cope with like the loss, or how to cope with losing like other like allies, and just generally support as a queer person, which is so necessary, especially in this climate. And then like in other places, I'd say that I feel like it is really important that people know how to survive from these things and how to come back from these things. So, oh, she stunned me. Hold on, I'm Battle Mercy.
You got this. Hey, you got that.
I did get that. Okay, so, but yeah, it's just like on one end, it's really sad to know that like having to kind of prepare in a way, and to learn from like, oh my god, this Reinhardt.
Literally, Jesus.
Ooh, ooh, hold on. I'll finish my reply when I can think. Now there's a Mercy on me.
No, I completely understand.
I'm dead. Yeah, just okay, sorry. So concluding my thoughts, to just keep going, to never give up, to always find a way out, that survival is the most important thing in every direction, whether that's surviving without the loss, or with the loss of others, surviving with being yourself, coming to terms with your reality of being different or being ostracized, and just how to deal with that. I think that that's the point that I was trying to make. Sorry.
Yeah, of course. You're all good. No, I completely understand. Alright, let me go requeue Kettle so then you can take your meds. And then we're actually at the last question.
Oh yay. Well, I'm eating something with them right now. Okay, wonderful. I have watered.
Slay.
I'm ready.
Yeah. So, for our last question, what is one lesson queer history has taught you?
Acceptance. It is with a very heavy heart that all of these things have happened to, and I say ancestors more in a sense of community rather than a sense of like genealogy relation, um went through so much to give queer people now what they have. And knowing now as it is that I am also someone's ancestor in a community sense, like in the future, because there is so much work to be done, there is so many things to learn and to continue to do, especially in the United States. And it has really taught me that there's always someone fighting for me, whether indirectly or directly. And I think that that inspires a lot of hope within me. But it also, it's again, like I feel like everything about the historical sense of being queer is very, very bittersweet. Um, and that like really encourages me to continue on and to continue fighting for those who can't fight for themselves right now, so that when they do need to, they have that space.
100%. No, I definitely understand that. I want to thank you again, Wyvie, for playing games with me, for
Of
collaborating with me, and for
course.
having a wonderful
It
time.
was so much fun. Thank you for inviting me. It has been an absolute pleasure to spend time with you and your community, and I'm very grateful to be able to actually put these things into words. That has been so much fun.
Yes, I'm so glad. Thank you so much for coming through. I really, really appreciate it. It's been so fun.
Of
I've had an amazing
course.
time. Are you going to continue to stream afterwards, or are you going to be ending as well?
I probably will end here and raid off to someone else.
Hmm. Of course, I would like to offer, since I've done this each one,
Mhm.
um, that we can raid out to someone of your choosing. All I ask is that they be queer for Queer History Month. They can be a fellow spooky tuber, but they do not have to be.
I do not have anyone active right now that is streaming that I would
Mhm.
like to stream out to, but if you have someone, I am more than happy to entrust my community with them.
Slay. All right, let me go ahead and peek around a little bit. Peek around a little bit. Oh my gosh, I have so many. Ah, ah. Let's go and let's do dun 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 dun. There are so many people. Let's go ahead and do. I'm pretty sure this person is queer. Let me go ahead and double. Let me double check this real quick.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll do Dr. Pepper or Dr. Pepper. We're gonna do Dr. Pep. All right,
Can
here
you
we go. I'll send you the name.
Yes.
Oh, that is the wrong. What is the wrong thing? I did not. Oh no, they're ending. Oh fuck. New person.
Time to choose again.
Down. Okay, here we go. We'll go to it's Cindy. We'll do Itsune. All
Okay,
right.
awesome. Found them. Oh, they're streaming Silent Hill Forte. Oh, bless. I'm so
Yes.
excited. Okay.
Slay. All right, here, let me put the raid out. All right, friends. And then once again, Wyvie, if you would like to tell everyone, give you a little shout out, where they can
Thank
find you. Have
you.
any plans or anything?
I stream if I stream, and if I stay true to my schedule. Every Thursday between 3 to 6 p.m., I start and then I go for as long as I can. You can find me on all socials except for Instagram at Wyverns, TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, Blue Sky. I am there. If you need any help, there's credits and social links in my Twitch channel. So thank you again for trusting me with your community. It has been so much fun, and I hope that I can see you again soon.
Of course. Thank you for coming on again. I really appreciate it. I had an absolutely wonderful time. Remember, everyone, I will be back here again tomorrow. I'm pretty sure. I will be back again here tomorrow and Saturday. Or no, not Saturday, and Saturday, not Sunday, I think. I can't remember. I have so much going on. There's so many different things. I will see you all when I see you. And let's go ahead and raid out. Do you want me to do a little 3, 2, 1 for us, YB, and we can press the raid button together?
Yes.
Alrighty. In 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's raid! Woo! Goodbye,
Have a
friends!
great night, everybody.